This is a late episode. I intended to do this earlier this weekend, but our family had guests over, so uh, you got me today on Monday afternoon at 1:20 CST. So I wanted to do a quarterly review kind of thing, but I'll save that for Friday, and I'll do that on the day of. So you'll see me then and there, and moving forward, the spiel. New Amex, volatility's fun. More futures. Kind of dabbling in that thought. I'll get back to that once my accountant pings me. And just gathering information. Gathering your financials, right? So this will be just the kind of operator's notes or manager's notes, whatever, or like it's kind of the internal, operator at the helm, right? The owner operator ramble over. So I want to do this a little more unstructured. So you'll hear me rambling, and I think that's fun. So going on, let's just jump into the meat and potatoes. Gathering financial information can be a pain in the ass. Now, is that personal? Is that company stuff? It all depends. I lost track of bookkeeping. I will not deny it. But that's because of the volume of activity. I was doing anywhere between 80 to like 100 trades a week within Paradolia. And that being said, it's just kind of chaotic. And then you're like, well, I know what's going on, but I don't have it on paper for my own records per se. It's like, oh, I know how much we've invested. I know how much we have cash. Like immediately, you can pull up the app on your phone. You can pull up, your company checking account, whatever. And this is small business side. Like the company's performance. I mean, we grew the thing, strictly on a revenue basis, like 30%, 20 to 30% of principal invested, is back. Like, we've grown the thing a bit. However, you start deducting expenses and things like that, and then you kind of get down to this other level on a income basis, right? But it's finicky, and there's been off balance sheet or off. I wouldn't say off the books, but like activity that's been occurred here, but kind of expense, covered personally. And that's kind of it. Like, I mean, the bulk of the fees expenses last year were legal, right? And that's kind of it. Like, just on, I don't know the cash flow, but certainly around the ballpark of like 40 to 50% of the principal invested was in cash flow, and so or cash inflows, right? And then outflows, you have your legal fees and whatnot. So just general expenses, I guess. I'm not an accountant. I love the stuff, but kind of, it's more so like I'm more interested in the operation side of things versus figuring out how to balance the books, right? Like just saying this, like I just threw my numbers at Claude. It's like I'm confused about this. Throw it in, and then because you don't have debt as a company, it's literally just retained earnings. So like, yeah, I remember that now. So I don't know, and then just tax wise, ping your CPA, whatever. Reach out to your own CPA. I'm just to discredit myself a little. I'm just a gambler. I'm just a trader. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I have an idea, but who knows? Like what the reality is. And jumping forward with that, like volatility is always interesting because, January, February-ish. No, this Iran thing didn't even exist. No one cared about Iran back a month ago. It was all about AI eating, SaaS's lunch. Meanwhile, that sector seems to be down 10, 20% or whatever, comparatively to the rest of the market. And it's still down. That's kind of infuriating when it comes to the, trying to appreciate the level, like asset base. But as a small outfit, two-man outfit, right? Uh, it's not too concerning. Next quarter, I'm expecting not to make revenue on the management side of things, or cash flow side of things pertaining to management services, and I mean that's kind of it. Like just all right, instead of this, try to plug it with futures activity or forecast trading, whatever that works out to. And then on a personal basis, I think it's more so the, obviously I'm interested in futures. Oil's oil. It's more chaotic than ever, even though we've always been on the petrodollar, but whatever. And just trying to, I guess, it's weird because like the market is very reactive. Meanwhile, how hasn't something over here stabilized versus, I don't know, tech versus oil? Or oil should be like, at least all of the petroleum companies or oil companies are diversified. I prefer diversified outfits, but, these things are jumping up and up and up. Meanwhile, the stuff that had tanked a month ago is still down. So it's like, what's going on here? Why? What's going on with the market? VIX is at like 30, was at 30 as of Friday. I was like, okay, so this is all strange, and we've been here before during the, what was the term? The tariff Tabasco, kerfuffle, whatever. And, you're back here. It's like, well, okay, so what? We just keep going. It'll be very interesting, and we'll be scaling up the company as we go, and it's going to be interesting because we effectively tripled the investment technically into the company right at the beginning of the year, and we're just kind of flat on like a asset value basis, if that makes sense, or the value of our investments, right? So that's kind of it. I don't really know how you'd account for like forecast events, but I'm just going to say, or at least the logic to me is you just kind of capture it or just leave it as cash or cash equivalents until it settles. So aside from that, that's kind of all I have. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, comment below, ring the bell, whatever. The whole spiel. I don't have to tell it to you. Anyway, thanks for watching episode 15. Bye-bye.